You passed on a deal that cost you $250,000.
God, yes.
And I want to talk about this, and I want you to teach us how to not make that same mistake you made when investing in real estate. So tell us the story and tell us how we can avoid that exact same mistake.
Okay. Oh my gosh, yes. Because I was talking about this on my social the other day because I drove by this house. So what happened, guys? I was investing in real estate. I was new as well. So this was after this property that we bought. And I was like cocky. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to just be a great negotiator. I'm going to make sure that I always offer under asking. I'm going to get a great deal. We saw this house, small one, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, about 800 square feet, nothing big. It was listed for $23,000. And I'm like, yes, it was $23,000. I am not making this up because I was talking to my husband. I'm like, it was $23,000. He's like, yeah, it was $23,000. And I was like, I'm going to offer $19,000. Like, yes, I could do $23,000, but I'm going to play hard to get, like poker, and I'm going to just do $19,000. The seller came back, oh, no, can we do it, maybe $22,000? And I'm like, no. $19,000 is my final offer. And I was like, oh, we're going to get this house for $19,000 because I'm going to win on this one, right? Well, what happened was that it sold to someone else for $22,000. And I was so sad. I'm like, oh my gosh, whatever. Fast forward, I drove by this property a couple of weeks ago. I saw it. It's been renovated since then. And I was checking the estimates on this neighborhood. This specific house, it listed, or its value is at $242,000. So I say 250 because I'm rounding up, but my mistake was I wanted to save money. Like, hey, I want to be that investor who negotiates and gets under asking, all that good stuff. That $3,000, my strategy is long-term holding a property, 20 years, 25 years. I gave up, and if you do the math, it's like $16 a month. I gave up possibly $250,000 because I didn't want to pay $16 extra to this seller. And now I kick myself and I tell my husband's like, don't remind me of that. I can't believe we lost that house. But what I'm saying is like, guys, if the numbers work, like you do our deal, right? Of course, we all want to get really cheap houses and properties. Who doesn't, right? But if you run a deal, and if it's a matter of like a couple of $1,000s, like a $5,000 or $2,000, and if the numbers still work, like if your numbers still work, given that $3,000 or $5,000 over asking, and you're cash flowing what you want to cash flow, do not lose the deal over $5,000. Your strategy, if your strategy is long-term wealth, creating or holding this property for 20 years, is it really worth you losing this great opportunity because you don't want to pay $3,000 that is going to cost you, $10 a month? So you have to see the long-term strategy. If that is your goal, and I remind people, if your numbers work, buy it. Sometimes I get people be like, hey, Ingrid, I want to offer 2,000 below. And I'm like, why do you want to offer 2,000 below? Oh, because I don't want to pay full price. Do the numbers work at full price? Well, yeah, they do. Do they cash flow what you want for this property? Oh, it cash flows really good. Then do not offer 2,000 below. Like, do not. Like, get this deal. So definitely it's more of just keep in mind why you're doing this.
That's a great lesson and a great story for everybody to hear and understand. And I think you're right. I think for me, I've been in that exact situation, and it's been ego. It's been me like wanting to be a better negotiator and like feel like I'm getting a good deal. But there's a saying that comes up for me. I'm not sure if you've ever heard, like, don't step over pennies. Well, no, how does it go? Don't step over dollars to pick up a penny.
I have a deal actually. I have a saying that says, it's really similar. It says, don't. You're so busy trying to save a penny than making $1. Right.
So that's the thing to avoid, right? That's a great saying. Is okay. Sometimes it's better to pay a little extra, knowing that you're going to pay this thing down. And I think it helps. I think it helps people when they understand all of the ways that real estate can make them money, right? Like when they start to understand, well, there's cash flow, and then I'm going to pay down this mortgage, and then one day I'll get a line of credit on it, like you just taught us to do, and then one day, like, there's tax benefits on my depreciation, and this property's going to go up in value. Like all these other things, it's like when you put $5,000 into all those benefits, who cares?
No, and that's exactly. And it was at the beginning, it was hard, and I think it's because of that mentality that when you're starting real estate is not an abundance mentality. It's hey, I want to save every single penny. I cannot spend money on this and that. And the more you invest in real estate, the more you need to change your mentality. More of a net scarcity, but abundance mindset of like, hey, like you said, it's $5,000. I'm going to make much more in appreciation, depreciation, loan pay down. Like all of this is going to give me 100,000. Why can't I just pay 5,000 over that? But I think it's just a mentality that if you start as a real estate investor, you may be stuck in the pennies. And I see that a lot in investors, like new investors. They don't want to invest in a coaching program, mastermind program. Why? Oh, it's too much money. It's $1,000. I'm going to just do it for free. But what they don't realize is that, yes, it may be $1,000, but it's not an expense. It's an investment. You know why? Because like in this case, you made mistakes. I made mistakes. Now we teach people not to make those mistakes. Now they're not going to lose a house over $3,000. So yes, it is an investment of $1,000, but how much are you getting out of it? You got to just look at it that way.